Coming to a Chinese website near you, Falun Gong organs imbued with supernatural powers. Did you know that? Falun Gong claim that their organs are being harvested. Members, supporters, fans, I suppose, people who practice Falun Gong, Falun Dafa, over in China, get their organs harvested by force, no choice, they're not just going to give them away, by the Chinese Communist Party and their henchmen, their evil doctors. And it's not just down to, oh well, they've got organs and there is a demand in China. That's the main story, but it's not the whole story. Why are they selecting you? Why not the Uyghurs? Why not the Tibetans? Which, let's be honest, it's a lot easier to basically fuck over Tibetans in China than the average Chinese person. Well, because Falun Gong organs have magical energy, and that's why the Chinese communists want, a Falun Gong heart, Falun Gong organs. Maybe not a brain. There's a brain in this picture, but maybe. Hey, when in Rome, but or when in Beijing or Shanghai or Shenzhen or wherever. Basically, the claim is of this spiritual movement. The reason why they're being oppressed. By the way, they don't have good evidence for their oppression in that regard, like organ harvesting. You think that might happen. You're going to do that to people perhaps on death row. You're going to do that to people who are enemies of the state. That's possible. CCP is not nice. CCP is not nice people. And the idea that they are taking Falun Gong organs in particular, and supposedly, according to them, 1.5 million people have disappeared and had their organs ripped from their bodies. Apparently, it's simply because they want super organs. So there must be a bunch of Chinese communists out there, because it's all going to the party members apparently, and the super rich and other influential individuals who are getting these super organs so they will live for much, much longer. Yes, you could have an aging, high-ranking Communist Party member who's been around since more or less the years of Mao, and hey, they need some new lungs. Are they going to get them from a reasonable source, from donors, or by paying a lot of money, or just simply from people who are healthy and are enemies of the state? Potentially, no. They're going to get spiritually charged organs from Falun Gong members, and they're kept conscious while they remove the organs, which makes no fucking sense. Yes, we're going to keep you conscious so you twitch a lot, which is going to cause more tissue damage when we actually remove the organ. And yeah, apparently they keep them alive on drips and everything, so they stay alive for longer. I mean, this is obvious voodoo propaganda. Not saying it's literally voodoo, no offence to West African witchcraft, but it's literally a form of twitchy propaganda to make people think, hey, this is some witchy bullshit that's going on over there, when in actuality, maybe some Falun Gong members have had their organs taken, along with some Uyghurs, along with enemies of the state, along with Communist Party members who've been declared enemies of the state, along with non-Communist Party members who've been declared enemies of the state, along with anyone who's been declared enemy of the state and may well have had their human rights violated by the Chinese Communist Party. But this spiritual woo-woo about, hey, they're imbued with super energy, can you demonstrate it? No. How many of your members still die from common diseases every fucking year? Well, that's an important question to ask. How many people think they're curing their diabetes or curing their cancer by practicing this practice? And in China, it's not like that pussy kind of stuff you got in the West. So Falun Gong, Falun Dafa in the West, or, in the developed world, basically there are certain guidelines, rules on what you're meant to say and what you're not meant to say. But when it comes down to traditional culture and people who take those ideas on board in China, they're going to believe in a lot more. And a lot of people, allegedly as many as 100 million people in China, take it very, very seriously. So they come off their meds and they fucking die. Where was their spiritually charged super organs then? You may as well have spam in there for the quality of the actual material, because it is of no damn use. But apparently the Chinese communists, oh yes, they want the organs. In fact, there's been a number of cases of people who've basically thought they can cure their diseases, cure their ills in the West who've died. The numbers in China are not fully known for obvious fucking reasons. And of course, Falun Gong doesn't like to talk about it, because the fact that people die of easily treated diseases because Falun Gong is anti-drugs, well, that would be somewhat harmful. It would be something which causes a bit of, I don't know, a negative sense, negative publicity. So instead they play on this idea that the Chinese communists are rounding up wholesale Falun Gong supporters, practitioners and the like within China, and they're basically keeping them alive, removing their organs one by one while keeping them alive for as long as possible, and implanting them into the wealthy and the Chinese communist elite. Even though, if there is any kind of organ trade of that kind, it has nothing to do with the energetic properties of people's super organs, which aren't actually super and aren't actually energetic and aren't anything beyond the organs of the average healthy person in most cases. So in other words, there's a lot of layered bullshit within this topic, and unfortunately Falun Gong supporters don't want to admit that there's a slight bit of, difficulty, confusion, an error, if you will, within their little conspiracy theory.